Hey guys, I am back again for another Indiana Jones tour review, and we're going to travel right back to 1981 or 1982, or let's just straight up say this is retro collection time. So this is actually my second retro collection figure review, first one being the retro collection Endor Han Solo, and now I have a Indiana Jones retro collection figure in my collection, and funny enough, it's the German mechanic. One of the few that I wanted to get from this line, and you might not see the entire package, but I'll go ahead and back it up and see the entirety of it. But this is the Retro Collection Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark German Mechanic, and this is the only one I wanted to buy because I didn't want to risk it with the Lost Wave version. I mean, someday, if I ever wanted to, I would get that version. But I'm sticking with this one for now because I didn't expect this figure to look this beefy and big, but really, it looks like a pretty fun figure. I decided to get it because I would love to have a German mechanic just as quick as possible, and this is the most affordable so far because the other versions, including the original Kenner version, is expensive. Way more expensive than the Lost Way version as far as I'm concerned. But of course, let's just go ahead and jump straight to how the package looks because the aesthetic of the package is obviously very similar to the original Indiana Jones figures from 1982, the elusive Adventures of Indiana Jones package. It does look pretty cool. In my opinion, it looks really aesthetically pleasing, much like the 2008 toys. So we have the German mechanic with an image of Pat Roach as the German mechanic on there, which looks really good for what it is. It does look a little blurry, but it looks fine for what it is. It has a little bubble right there that's showing off the action feature, which is basically a snap arm action. And there's the figure itself inside, the Kenner logo down there, and at the back, which is pretty much nothing special other than showing off the different figures that you can get in the collection, which is Indiana Jones, Totes, German Mechanic, which we have right now, Belloc, and Mary Ravenwood. It's a darn shame we don't have a regular Belloc because we're stuck with the ceremonial outfit of Belloc. And I did see Mary Ravenwood in stores as a peg warmer at the moment. I didn't feel like getting that one because I already have the Lost Wave version, which is a million times better. So, of course, so you get the Indiana Jones logo up on the top in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nothing special, just a bunch of warning signs and bullcrap. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the German mechanic out of the package. And here is the German mechanic out of its package. And for what it looks like, it actually looks pretty nice for what it is. It's not a perfect figure, of course. It's obviously based on the original 1980s German mechanic. But this one's obviously different because it's a different paint application being applied on her, which I did see comparisons of how the German mechanic looked originally versus this particular version. And that's either a common criticism among the retro collection figures is that the paint jobs don't 100% capture the same look as the Kenner figures because they have a completely different paint scheme applied. Like, I don't want to go into detail, but as you can see, it's just basically a very simple figure. And I would say that some of it is not entirely movie accurate anyway, considering that this is an old Kenner figure, but it does look good enough to stand in as a German mechanic, especially considering that it does look fine for what it is. It doesn't look too perfect anyway, but I do like the figure the way it looks regardless. So we can get a closer look at that sculpt of possibly what looks like Pat Roach's face in Kenner form, like old figure form. I do see it a little bit. Doesn't look like it comes out too much, but it looks fine for what it is. Definitely does look okay. So I like the likeness on it. It doesn't look too bad. And overall, it's just a very simple, smooth looking body and is pretty glossy in front of this window reflection or whatever. So he's basically shirtless entirely. His pants are nicely detailed for what it is. Basically an 80s style look to it because this figure is based on the original Kenner figure. Does got the articulated knees and legs. Do bend back and forth. Get him in poses like this. And he doesn't actually fall down considering that he's very front heavy to the point where it's like he can balance up pretty well. And he's only got one articulated arm, which is nice, but the other arm is obviously locked by an action feature, so it does that snapping maneuver. Same can be said about the Indiana Jones figures they've been releasing. Like Indiana Jones in general always had this feature where his arms are spring loaded because it's based on the old figure, because all these figures are very gimmicky. Well, some of them are very gimmicky. And this is also the accessory it comes with, which is a wrench. It's pretty small. It should be a lot bigger, which I think the Hasbro version from 2011 is a bit bigger. Might as well just, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on this arm. Nothing too special, just a really nice looking figure overall. And if I would to compare it to previous Indiana Jones figures, let me go ahead and get the Kit Bash indie figure that I have, put it right alongside him. And he does tie in pretty nicely to how he looks, but at the same time, this guy could be a bit taller because he's almost meeting him face to face in this length, but I think it looks okay. So for size comparison, he does look fine, and he does work pretty well with basically any Indiana Jones figure you have that's in the 3/4 inch scale. It's the only way we're gonna go for. And plus, if it's the only affordable German mechanic you can get, this is the only one that you can get for now, because the Lost Wave one is an expensive one, and the original version of this figure is quite the expensive sucker. Overall, it's just a nice figure. Just don't really have much to compare to or look up to. It's just simple and effective, much like the Han Solo figure I reviewed. Just a simple and effective looking action figure. If it's basically an 80s toy or 80s style toy, it's basically nothing to go over other than it just looks fine. Listen, we'll go ahead and try out that action feature. Okay, now I got it. Alright, so that's going to be it for this review of the Indiana Jones, or Adventures of Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark Retro Collection German Mechanic. Pretty much a nice figure, nothing else to go over, just that's all it really is. I did get mine off of Amazon, so I didn't really actually get it in Target stores or wherever the heck it's located. I'm not even sure if it's even at Target, because all I saw was a bunch of Marions up there, and I haven't really been there in a long while, to be honest. If I were to go back up there, I would definitely pick up Retro Collection Last Crusade Solo, because that is exactly one figure I would definitely be interested in picking up. And it is nice that we're still getting 3/4 inch figures from Hasbro in terms of Indiana Jones, but it's still kind of a shame that we're not getting any more, or at least we don't hear that much news about them. Hopefully, they will continue to keep making more, because they just can't kill this line off. Because Hasbro and Indiana Jones, I don't know what it is with them constantly with these figures and what they're doing with them, but whatever. As long as we have some figures coming out from this particular franchise, I'm still happy. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys later on the next review.